Hey, what's up, everybody? So I woke up this morning to the weirdest news I've heard in a long time. Check this out. An astronaut, mind you, a female astronaut may have committed the first space crime while aboard the International Space Station. Now, with all the recent news about how NASA wants to land first woman on moon as part of upcoming Artemis mission and looks to Mars next so that the first person on Mars could be a woman, with all this push to make women pioneers of progress, it seems women have pioneered something not too progressive. The first space crime. Apparently, allegedly may have taken place aboard the International Space Station, committed by astronaut Anne McClain. Here she is right here. And these are the allegations. NASA is probing the case of an astronaut who was accused of accessing her estranged wife's bank account while on a 6-month mission orbiting the Earth on the International Space Station. This is so ridiculous. Summer Warden noticed her account had been accessed from a computer registered with NASA before she concluded that Anne McClain was spying on her account from space. Oh. This story sounds even more ridiculous than the violation of the second law of thermodynamics, that is, the vacuum of space. So NASA is reportedly probing the case of an astronaut who was accused of accessing her estranged wife's bank account while orbiting the Earth from the International Space Station. She is U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Anne McClain, and Warden, a former Air Force intelligence officer, her ex-wife. They are clearly lesbians. Sure, that's just a coincidence. Became suspicious when McClain had mentioned specific purchases while fighting with her estranged spouse, the New York Times reported. Upon her request, her bank reportedly confirmed that her account had been accessed with credentials entered on a computer network registered to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. And, the female astronaut has denied it. Here she is on Twitter. There's unequivocally no truth to these claims. We've been going through a painful personal separation that's now unfortunately in the media. I appreciate the outpouring of support and will reserve comment until after the investigation. I have total confidence in the IG process. So, one of the first things I thought of when I heard that the first crime to ever be committed in space was by a woman, I couldn't help but immediately think of the Adam and Eve account. Adam and Eve. Really, I mean, if you understand what the Adam and Eve tale or mythology, if you want to call it that, is all about, it's about humankind disobeying God's commandments, doing something wrong that they weren't supposed to do. And it really began with Eve, the female. Adam and Eve, over here on Wikipedia. God fashions Adam from dust and places him in the Garden of Eden. Adam is told that he can eat freely of all the trees in the garden except for a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Subsequently, Eve is created from one of Adam's ribs to be Adam's companion. They are innocent and unembarrassed about their nakedness. However, a serpent deceives Eve into eating fruit from the forbidden tree, and she gives some of the fruit to Adam. These acts give them additional knowledge, but it gives them the ability to conjure negative and destructive concepts such as shame and evil. God later curses the serpent and the ground. God prophetically tells the woman and the man what will be the consequences of their sin of disobeying God. Then he banishes them from the Garden of Eden. So according to the Bible, women fucked it up on Earth and they fucked it up in space. Apparently now, because the first space crime ever committed was apparently by a woman. So really just a bizarre story. There's just so many bizarre things happening in space. One of the things I'm thinking about is like, don't you have something better to do with your time on the space station? I didn't know that you just access bank account. You log on to freaking Chase Bank from literally while you're orbiting the Earth in the international space. Like it's honestly some of the stories we hear happening up there are so absurdly stupid. In fact, it seems like some of the most absurd things are happening in space. Like Elon Musk launching a Tesla in space. Like, guys, it's just beyond ridiculous. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say, guys, real quick. Just a truly ridiculous story. Don't forget, guys, according to the world's most popular astrophysicist, that stuff is flat. According to him, you can't see Earth curve from 128,000 feet, which is really, really weird. Guys, links to these shirts are right down there in the description. Pick one up for yourself. They're a hilarious troll. Check me out on Patreon as well. The link is right down there in the description. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Kyrie Irving believes it to be flat.
No,
You saw this, right?
don't get me started.
So we are not on a spinning ball.
Okay.
We're on a flat, motionless.
Oh, this is flat Earth. So you're pitching this as a serious call.
Yeah, no, that's yours.
Welcome back, my woke friends. Earth looks flat, it feels flat. The logical explanation is the Earth is flat, right?
No,
You saw this, right?
don't get me started. And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix!
Felix Baumgartner.
Felix Baumgartner.
It's billed as the free fall from the edge of space.
Don't get me started. He would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump.
And you don't see the curve of the Earth at any altitude. And then
You can see the curve of the Earth at certain altitudes, though.
Yeah, I was on a plane to get here and I saw it.
Yeah.
This morning, the Austrian daredevil plans to jump from 23 miles above the New Mexican desert. That's 120,000 feet, 4 times higher than most passenger planes fly.
And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not!
And so when I went flying from England to Africa, the curvature that I saw, would that be just something that I expected to see and my sort of eyes made it look that way?
It was observation that showed us the Earth's curvature in the first place. And if you don't believe all of those scientists and government people for some reason, fly in an airplane and behold an inarguably spherical Earth.
At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball.
This is a man who just minutes ago was going 536 miles an hour, break the sound barrier on his way down.
The sky was totally black, I could see the curvature of the Earth, so that was amazing today.
You don't see the curvature of the Earth.
I could see the curvature of the Earth.
You don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
I travel a lot and I fly a lot and I can see the curvature when I fly.
Okay, so 35,000 feet, you can see it, right? That's what you're saying?
Generally speaking, I can see a slight curve to it, yeah.
Okay, so Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you can't see it at that altitude, so I really...
This really doesn't matter. We have satellites.
That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. Don't get me started.